So here we are on the usual Monday stream. Uh, the DVD video is probably going to be tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. I just have to figure out which matches I'm going to use, and I have a pretty good idea of which ones. And, then record the audio and stick it on top and whatnot. Um, there is a new situation that I'm waiting to see it play out. That occurred this past Thursday with this individual, and then if they act ridiculous, they're going to get a video done on them. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the multi-personality thing, but a lot of people like to do that online for some reason. And again, I expect that from Discord. It's just it seems like there's always that one person that like goes above and beyond. It just be kind of more ridiculous, like more over the top than usual. So that's why I kind of still, got a little whiplash by it. And I keep using these vague terms because I don't want to spoil the premise of the video. It's really just the same kind of stuff. It's like someone shows interest, except in this case, I think it was to a really ridiculous extent. And then they start backtracking and reneging and singing a different tune. Just that's why we were gonna do the romance comic book video with all these retcons. Yeah, I only played one match of DBD yesterday. I don't know. For the last couple of days, I've really been out of it with that game. Part of it is because a lot of people I like to play with aren't online, or if they are, it's during some time where I'm not actually on it. Like there are people who go on that game at 3 or 4 in the morning. Um, it kind of sucks because a lot of I mentioned that one of the things I like more often than anything else is to play with people on my friend list because it's nicer to play with someone you know than a bunch of randoms. Who was online on Friday? Oh, Orange Juice. That's the person from the fourth installment. Yeah, I played with them a little bit. There's gonna be at least two more of those where they show up in it. But I have to like arrange what order I want because there was another person I recorded about must be 7 or 8 different matches with. Like we just kept playing together over and over, and then they're like barely online after that. I've seen them online one time since then, which sucks because I thought they were a good teammate. To where like one of the matches I showed to my brother, and I was like, see, this is what happens when you have teammates that are actually good. They do stuff like this. Yeah, I try to play it and enjoy it. It's a game that can be fun and also very irritating. But I do think a big part of that is with the teammates that you get when you play with randoms because some of them just do things that I find very strange. Yeah, yesterday the match I played around I think it was yesterday. The match I played was with these three people who were up against Legion, and it was really funny with some of the killers when their totem hasn't been cleansed. They get the hex state, which allows them to down someone that's not injured in one hit. So normally it takes 2 hits to take someone down, but they can hit you once and then that's it. Um, I tried to open the exit gate while this one person was on the hook because I was gonna open it and then get them off, and then I got knocked down by Legion. I didn't really see where it was coming from. I was just sitting on that thing trying to open as much as I could, and then after he did that, he went to go chase. I don't. No, it wasn't a he. Well, like I don't know what the player was, but they were playing this one of the different female ones, but they went to go chase this other person, the only other person in the match that was actually still standing. And because I had Soul Guard, which I love that move so much, I was able to like pick myself back up and then get that person off the hook and then open the gate. It was like just It's not one of those things where it's like so coincidental because there are a lot of killers that think when they slug somebody, which they knock you down, they don't put you on the hook, they're like winning. And no, that was their fatal flaw. They should if they put me on the hook, that would have been it. But because they didn't, three people got away. Then earlier in that same match, there was this one person that they kept grabbing, and then I guess another person had a flashlight. So every time they would pick them up, they get flashed in the face, and then the person would be back on their feet again. And that happened about three times. To where I started to think that person was a hacker. I was like, how does this killer keep falling for the same trick? Stuff like that is really weird to me. But yeah, for a match with randoms, it was pretty fun. Just not something I'm used to doing. Not used to doing, but not really that preferable with. Like I'd rather play 10 matches a day with people I know than 100 a day with people I don't know. That's probably the best way to put it, to phrase it. Mm. I'm waiting to see if any of my favorite characters show up and make an appearance. Yeah, next week my brother might come over here so we can do our next World Without Heroes installment. Let me see where there was some comment I was gonna read and like respond to it because I was gonna correct this person. I wasn't gonna say it in like some nasty way, just like clarifying. The Discord is just another one of these websites where it's like I guess it's cool to sit there and talk to someone, right? But I really think I'd rather just have Skype make a comeback because for some reason when people get in these group calls or when they're in these like large segments of people, they feel like they have to show out. So I don't. I'm not particularly a fan of them in most instances. And last night, actually, there was a person who came in the server and they had their mic muted because they were eating, and then they started getting, I guess, cursed out, for having their mic muted so that we wouldn't hear them chewing. And I sent them a message. I said, this just shows. I quote my own video. Either way, you can't win. You get in trouble for muting your mic so that people won't hear you eating while they're talking. And then if you had your mic unmuted while you were eating, they would say, "Oh my God, you're so rude. You're eating while we're talking." So you can't win on the internet. And we already went over that. We were talking about those guys. We were like, make other content besides romance stuff, and then you do that, and then they're nowhere to be seen. I just thought that one was kind of funny because it really is like she did this courtesy for these people, and then the response was, "Oh, you're so rude." It's like I'm gonna eat and not and put it in a way to where I can't be heard, and then they get mad at that. But you know that if she had made it to where she could be heard while she was eating, they would get upset over that too. It's just people trying to pick a fight. That's the way to put it. But see, I don't remember stuff like this on Skype because it was always I would say 99%. I'm not trying to put out some fake number, but overwhelmingly when I spoke to someone on there, it was just me and that person. So you didn't like really see someone trying to like gang up on another person on that website and make them feel like trash. Uh, unless it was like some targeted group call or something, which you don't get those. You're just like a random person. So I just thought it was really funny and kind of sad, that they feel like strong if they sit in the group and trash talk somebody else for just like the dumbest stuff. You had your mic muted. I remember there was this one chick on Discord that used to she used to I mentioned her before on like another video, another stream I did. She went in these VCs asking if people want to hear her moan and would like make these little like noises that are supposed to be erotic. And then one of the guys like went to her because she uses the same name on like Twitter. They went to her Twitter and saw what she looked like. And then when, they made some comment that I thought was really funny. I'm not gonna say it because I'm not trying to like start up any kind of conflict. Oh, you said this about this person. You're a hypocrite because you talked about the way they look. Even though I'm just stating something from somebody else. But that's another thing that I find really interesting. That when people, I guess, hook up, for lack of a more wanting term, on these websites where they hide their faces, especially if it has like some kind of romantic tinge to it, you do have to worry about, oh, does this person like the way I look back? Tell is what he said. Yeah, you're right. Tell is what he said. He said tell, and that was it. No, once I saw what she looked like, I wasn't really interested. I mean, it's like, I guess, to me, it just seems weird for someone to supposedly have a fiance and then they're on like this website trying to seduce men with their voice. But you get a lot of crazy behavior from people that when are made aware of whatever their circumstances, it makes it sound even stranger. Can't give us half of the story. Well, I mean, the full story is this is a person that would go in VCs asking if men wanted to hear her moan. And then we saw what she looked like, and then we were no longer interested. I already wasn't interested to begin with because I'm not a fan of. I'm already sick of like just chicks in general, so I just ignored her. And the server we were in is supposed to be against stuff like that, but they like to play with you and use the laws that are there, the rules that are there to protect them to their favor, while also like skirting around them. Like, oh yeah, don't ask out any of the chicks in here and say any creepy stuff, but they can come up to you and ask if you want to hear them moan. You damn straight. If I went in some random woman's DM saying that, I would have been banned or blocked in like 5 seconds. But somehow when they do it to you, it's okay. Good old double standards. Always here to stay. That's what made Thursday's events more ironic. It's like one of them actually did that. That's why I said on Discord, there's like this weird erotic subtext. Like if you just send a woman a message or communicate with her in like some one-on-one way, it always has to take some weird turn. But that website already proved it's got a lot of mentally ill people on there. Who could ever forget the classic? I'm uncomfortable because this person asked me what my interests are. I ain't want to get into all the stuff that happened this week. Like, just since Monday, there's been multiple scandals, and it's not even just that. It's like just weird stuff that people do. We had the example of the person that kept asking this person X if they were gay over and over, like would follow them to different VCs until they just got so fed up they left the server altogether. Let me go to what Megumi wrote so I can clear because I was waiting to see if he would come, but I guess not. Let me go over there and grab his message. Oh, that was Saturday SmackDown 4 where he wrote that. Okay, the start of that new trilogy. That's also bizarre, a chick asking those personal questions towards someone the same sex as them. To clarify, it wasn't a chick, it was, a guy, like a boy who saw this chick in a voice call and then started asking if she was gay, and then after she confirmed it, you would think it would end there, but then he asked her if she was a furry, and then this other and then like kept spamming the same question, and then she left the VC, and then he would follow her to another one. That went on for a good must be 6 minutes. Oh, is that another new account, James? Is this the eighth one? Yeah, that's what I'm really worried about making you a mod, and then you delete your account again. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea. That's a real slap in the face to me. It's like, yeah, you thought I was gonna be a mod on your channel. Not if I delete my account. I was so disappointed. That should be in top 10 anime betrayals. There was another incident. I think it was, yeah, it was Sunday morning. By Sunday morning, I mean like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, not like, oh, 8 a.m. or something. There were these two guys that were going to different VCs in the server, and they were like saying strange stuff. Like one of them was saying they wanted to lick some alien's teeth from some movie, right? Like just kind of like weird. And the other one said some more perverse stuff, including that he wanted to like how do you accidentally bang your dad, and was talking about molesting a cat. Just like really weird stuff, right? But they go in this one VC where this guy is in there, and they say this in front of him, so then he goes in the chat of the like just the stuff where people are typing to each other and ask if the two can be banned, and then he apparently goes back into the VC, and they choose to confront him in there, and they start saying some very ridiculous things. They tell him that he's violating the server rules, which I don't like. I was confused even just listening to that myself. Like, what rules is he breaking? Then one of them tried to say that they're being racially discriminated against because they're black. And then, if I'm supposed to believe that the guy's picture is him, he's whiter than snow. So all that started over them being weird and saying like strange stuff to somebody that got sick of it. But they didn't get banned. I came back in there later that day, and they were still there. Oh, it's very weird. And between you and me, there's someone who has a recording of that as well, just like another incident. Megumi says, "Hey, glad I can make it to the stream. While I'm not going to be here for long since I need to be somewhere soon, but I wanted to show myself. Hope you are all well." Yeah, I answered your comment. Like I addressed it. I clarified that it wasn't a woman asking another woman if she was gay over and over. It was a guy. It was like some boy who, by the way, we found out yesterday is 14. And I still have no sympathy for him because it's like you harass somebody and then we're supposed to go, well, we should all be nice toward this person because of their age. Also, apparently, and I wasn't here for this. There was a guy that was in another VC who was talking to maybe five or six other guys about chicks, and you know how those people are, where they try to give advice that nobody asked for, that lovely little thing that happens on the internet. Um, but like I know that happened because I came in there and heard the tail end of them talking to this person. But what they claim is that apparently he had another server where he had like X-rated videos of himself engaging in erotic or expletive type. What's a good way of saying it? Like, yeah, expletive type of acts with chicks, and he showed it to them. And I was thinking to myself, how weird would I look? Again, assuming this is true, if I go up to some random group of guys on the computer that I've never spoken to. I don't know who they are. and I get them out of some server and take them to my server where I've got all this different, like, basically porn of myself and show it to them. Like that, nobody thinks that's weird. And they really clicked on that and apparently went with him on his little wannabe Playboy adventure. Unsolicited advice. Yep. And they were sitting there listening to it. They were like, yep, acting like bobbleheads. No, I would post the recording of the guy asking the person if they're gay over and over. I was trying to get permission from the person they were harassing because they thought it was funny as well. But they have like this, again, people just are weird. They have this thing where if you send them a private message, they don't respond or they seldom respond, but then they'll sit in the VC and like talk their head off for like 3 hours. So it'll be very difficult to pull that one off. That's why I hate making stuff where you gotta get like somebody where you have to wait for somebody else to do something because it's always like dragged out and delayed. Like with the show, you gotta wait for somebody to record some lines. You could do it in probably 2 days, but you gotta wait 200 days for them to do it. So all that stuff is just so weird. The way people act and whatnot is you could tell something's wrong with people. No, this whole website needs to just be mocked and lampooned. Like YouTube has its problems. It has like creepy people on here too that write bizarre, strange, disturbing stuff. But I just have never had the same problems on here that I've had on Piscord. Yeah, I really don't like when people act like that so backwards. I'm just imagining this guy's like he has no. I don't even like going like saying stuff like this, but he has no friends in real life. So he has to go on the internet and show these random men in different servers his porn of himself. Because he sat in there for about 2 or 3 hours. Just like this about oh my god. James said that's weird. Yeah, welcome to the internet. I mean, you've already seen men obsessed for multiple years over the love life of another man, so nothing on here should be weird to you anymore. To where they're like so angry about like that's whatever that should have been the first clue that something was wrong with people online. No, I really hope. See, I had about three different non-DVD edited videos planned this month. You had the accidental pregnancies one, or excuse me, the never-ending accidental pregnancies one. Then I was gonna do this one like I put off since last year. It was supposed to be festive, where I talked about there was this broad that I used to speak to who revealed that she would not let me hear her voice to some other like guy after I had stopped speaking to her like months and months after the fact. So she was apparently so afraid of me as to not say anything or to never use her mic, just always type stuff. Oh, and then the romance comic book. But see, I'm really hoping that this one person from Thursday acts like they have some sense because I don't want to have to make a video on them. Which again, I mentioned before, the reason that those are even made usually is because I'll meet someone that like does something that really pisses me off, right? And then they make it to where you can't speak to them, like they won't respond to a message, won't have a call with you, nothing, just completely silent, right? So it's like a venting thing of, hey, just because you don't want to speak about it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to explain why it's irritating what you're doing. So they've got until was it this Friday? This chick stuff will drive any normal man insane. I want the moral of this story just we don't take anything they say seriously. Because if you hear some of the details of what happened, you'll think I made it up. Yeah, that's usually occurs when the person blocks you, for example. And now they're saying that, oh, I can't have a VC with you. We'll have one eventually, but not now. And then it's like they're online, like on Discord, at least 10 hours a day. Like you know how on there they have the online where it's a little green circle. Like they have that for most of the day. Hell, they're on there right now. And we know it's not like an automatic thing where their computer just always has them online because they were like their thing showed them offline last night. So I said people just they're really weird. And they say a lot of stuff to gas you up, make you think you're so important, and then they treat you like garbage a few days later or right after. I think that's really funny. Like, oh, I'm too busy, I can't speak, and then you go on there and you see her online just hour after hour after hour. It's like, who are you trying to trick? Because there was somebody I really want to think I was just so busy where I couldn't speak to them. You better believe I wouldn't even go on my account or I'd put like, um, like offline or whatever, because you do have the option to make yourself invisible. They constantly putting off having a call with you, effectively shutting you out what you want while wanting you to do what they want. Yeah. Well, I told you that's why relationships are so ridiculous to me. It's you do everything that the other person wants, and then they do very little or almost nothing of what you want. I mean, you saw this on what was that last Thursday with the Galactus stream where you have a guy who wants you to sit there and listen to his crap for the next 40, 50 minutes, but you want to play a recording for him that's 6 minutes. Just it's really comedic. They don't people just don't believe in compromising. That's the best way to put it. I just made a Discord so far. My experience has been good, but again, I'm barely on website. Oh well, try going in some more servers and you'll start to see how insane it gets. I just can't believe so much has happened. Like for every day of the week, it feels like there's some major ridiculous thing that occurred. I have a huge disdain for that. Seriously. Like I said, I really hope she gets back to me before Friday. I don't have to make that video because it's not just gonna be me saying something. I have a lot of screenshots, and when you just hear about how, like, just to give a preview, it's like this. Imagine me going to a bowling alley, right? And you come in there as well, and let's say we're both there for like 2, 3 hours, and then you leave for an hour. You come back, I'm still there. And then I say when you're like, oh, you must be a really big bowling fan. Oh no, bowling's not really for me. And you're like, well, what the hell? Why would you spend multiple hours doing something that isn't for you? It's like that kind of mentally ill trajectory that is I'm alluding to here. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. Yeah. People can tell you that, oh, if you do this for chicks, they'll like you back, and oh, if you do, yeah. But then if you go out and what do you see? Whole bunch of men on forums talk about how hard it is to get with somebody. If you actually come on here and talk about how insane the stuff with chicks are, it's usually only men that get upset with you because chicks don't care. So it's just they claim one thing and then you see the opposite. How many servers did you join? Give me a second. Not counting my own, 6. but I left one of them because the people in there, all they do is create these rooms that you can't even, like, when they have a voice chat, they go in these rooms that you can't even go in unless you have some pre. It's like you have to sign a contract to speak to any of them voice to voice. It was really stupid. So I was only in there for about a week, and I dipped. I remember this one guy did a video where he recorded this Discord call, and the guy was like, "Yeah, when he found out he couldn't get any more information, he did a nice two step out of my server." I'm just imagining, like, because this guy's where it says like leave server, and he actually like walks backward. Just the way he made it sound like he found some covert way to leave without anybody noticing initially. Oh my god. I mean, a lot of people take these servers like you might as well be at their house or something. They have 900 rules, and then when people break them, they don't even get in trouble. Like in the rules for that one server, it has something about like no harassment, blah 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 blah. And then that guy's done that thing that said the homophobic stuff to the one woman like at least twice now, both of which times were recorded. And hey, good old plot armor, huh? James wishes he had the plot armor to break the rules of a server and never get in trouble for it. They have so many rules and they don't enforce any of them because let me like what's really slick, right? Is that people go in the VC knowing that there's not like a written archive of that unless somebody happens to be recording, and they know that when they go in there they can say stuff that they couldn't get away with through typing usually. Like there was one person last night who, when they were leaving, told this one chick that he hoped she died, like in the VC, and like then tried 2 seconds later, oh, I meant this. It's like how do you accidentally tell somebody you hope they die? The only reason I didn't record because I wasn't expecting it. It was just out of nowhere. Of course, that plot armor is ever so powerful, completely bypasses all rules and trumps over all logic, literally. Whoa, that's insane. Oh, she was shocked by it too because she was barely even saying anything in the call. Just you're about to leave, and so you tell someone you hope they die. That was his great farewell to her. And I just thought it was like so funny. Like, if like they say that men who defend chicks online, or I don't even want to use the term they use, but it's like you get where it's ironic. I'm supposed to be part of the woman hating group, and even I'm like, yeah, that's really insane and ridiculous. Now, like they put me in these like weird positions. I'm supposed to be part of the group that doesn't like chicks, and then you saying so much insane, crazy stuff around them. I'm like, hey, can you relax? But of course, I didn't say I'll send somebody a private message, but like actually having some, voice debate on why you should. No, I'm not. No, I'll let them just talk to themselves. No, the plot armor gets really effective when you see like the same people breaking the rules over and over with no consequence. Like everything that guy said about those two was true. They were saying like weird erotic stuff about like animals and dads, and somehow one of them, the one that was doing it, didn't get in trouble, and the other one that was talking about licking a monster's teeth, he also didn't get in trouble. So, which I don't think the other one should have, because I don't really find. I mean, people say all kind of like weird stuff, like that one feels very light to me. Oh, I find this horror movie character attractive, like whatever. But the other one, I think should have gotten in trouble for that. The little plot armor. I really wish I could have recorded that. I just didn't see it coming. I'm just sitting there like, all right, this just seems to be like a fairly normal discussion where they're talking about some romance crap, which whatever. But they're at least people are just acting, in a calm, relaxed manner, and then all of a sudden you say that to somebody. Like I said, you can find a lot of like weird behavior that just comes out of nowhere. Like there are so many matches people have recorded of DBD, for example, where someone will like just play the game as killer and they'll win, and then someone will say like, "Oh, I hope this happens to you and your family," just all kind of gross stuff. So you get just more and more used to it, just desensitized. Makes you wonder who the heck are moderating these servers. Are they aware of the amount of nonsense that going on in their own servers? Um, Again, it's one of those servers where there's a lot of people in it, and they try to. You have some that aren't moderators, but that will try to be sympathetic with them. Well, there's a lot of people in here, so they get away with being lazy. The moderators probably like it. Oh, there's another guy whose whole channel is like uploading Discord calls in a server where people call each other homophobic slurs, racial slurs, like threaten bodily harm. Like they say all kinds of manners of evil. And me and this one guy were just sitting back, and he was like, I don't know how his channel doesn't get deleted. And we had this joke that like there's going to be a plot twist a plot twist where that the guy who runs that channel is going to be revealed to be like Susan Wojcicki's son or grandson. So like that's why he gets to do all this stuff. He's got plot armor. He can upload whatever he wants with no consequence. Because if his video has like an age restriction on it, he puts that on there himself. So like he's never had it. Like he himself is not saying that kind of stuff, but he records it and puts on his channel, and he completely gets away with it. Like I remember one time I had YouTube delete one of my thumbnails because it was a woman wearing some wearing bikinis that like showed her cleavage. They got rid of that, but racial slurs, threatening to beat somebody up, homophobic slurs. If you're on his channel, it's a okay. So I just like I said, that plot armor, man, it's real powerful. The moderators probably like it. They don't even do anything. They're like, you barely see them post. They never go into VC. They're real. Like they're figureheads. Let me turn this up. I'm just imagining like the moderators have like these secret accounts they go in and listen. They're like, yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned this, but it was just an example of someone doing something on Discord that I thought was like really clever and kind of also crazy. So 2 years ago, there was a guy who was threatening to beat up another person. They had a feud on YouTube, and he was. I'm not affiliated with him in any way. Never been in his server. I don't like this person. Just horrible. But he was in his server in a VC, like talking all this trash about he was going to go to this guy's house and turn it into a Rocky movie. So while he's doing this, I'm in another server where we're a VC, a couple of guys talking to each other. One of the people in this VC with me takes their cell phone because they're using their computer to be in the VC with me on their account, logs into another Discord account, goes in the VC of this other person's server, the one that's like threatening to beat the guy up, and then puts it on speaker so we can all hear what's being said. I just thought that was the slickest thing ever. Like, oh, you thought you were having a private talk with like, 4 or 5 people. Try 15. That really sounds like something out of a movie. Like, oh yeah, they really believe they're just speaking to a few people. Let me get my other account out. He really betrayed his trust. He went because he'd never, from what I saw, he never actually told any of them that like he had his I think he either had the server what's a good way of saying it? Yeah, the plots thickens. But I'm just saying it was really funny because he came in this and he used 2 accounts to basically, like, stream one VC to another, and he was encouraged, like, "Do it, do it." Oh my god. The plot thickens. I mean, hell, when that guy came in there messing with that, with person X again last night, I was like, "Oh, this is the sequel, the rematch," because he called her the F slur, when he came in there after she announced she had him, muted. So I said, people really are just they're it's like imagine getting offended that someone who you harassed had you muted. Like, I can't believe this person who I kept asking over and over if they were gay is annoyed by me. Who would have guessed? I didn't have him muted because I was over there recording them. Just sitting there in disbelief that you can actually do this to people and like there's no consequence. Yeah, he's got plot armor as well. Except his is different because it's not him being like favored by some staff or being a woman, or it's like it's just the mods don't care. So that's why he's able to go over there and write that insane stuff. I really want to do that romance comic book video so much. The romantic rejection comic book. That would be this would be the title would be parallels or something. Got plot twists, retcons, crossovers, red herring. There's some other stuff I can think of. Oh, a status quo. It's like you approached chicks for 7 years. Let's pretend it didn't happen, so we can write ridiculous stuff about you. You could also say that's revisionist history. Like with the guy that I did the like sets lying world record video. It's like, yeah, that's me talking about someone that really pissed me off because it's one thing to claim, oh, I'm just done talking to this person, but then to sit in a server and write a bunch of nasty stuff about that same person who you're afraid to speak to while calling other people cowardly for not talking to you. I thought that deserved a video made on it. It's like, just because you won't speak to me doesn't mean I can't respond to the, ridiculous stuff you were saying in the server that somebody sent a screenshot for me. How could you seriously threaten someone and then act surprised when the person cuts contact with you? No, he was asking her over and over if she was gay, so then she muted him to where she couldn't hear him anymore. And then he was like angry at her and calling her homophobic slur. It's like you're upset about at a person regarding a conflict you initiated. Yeah, it's really comedic. I'm so tired of this one guy and his little clickbait channel. Every video is the same thing. Why I don't like this popular thing. Then you click it and then he's like, I mean, I like it, just not as much as other people do. So yeah, you're a clickbaiter. Okay, I won't watch you anymore. I just hate when people put up a title that's supposed to, be like some negative, and then it's like, like maybe if you do it one time, right? But then if it's over and over, no, I don't know. People on that website are really weird. Oh, and then last night there was this one person that was telling her whole life story. Spoke for like 3 hours. And I guess what always kills me, right? Because if someone wants to just talk about themselves in a capacity where it's them and someone they've known for years, or just that they're really comfortable with, whatever. But like you go in a VC with a bunch of strangers, you don't know anybody in there, and then you sit here and you talk about when you were in school, what you're currently up to. There was apparently some kind of discussion of BDSM. Then when she's recounting events, she's mentioning like real life people, like people in real life's real names. Like she said her grandpa's name, the name of some guy she got in trouble with, his mom's. I was like, and I'm just like, people really think that makes sense to do. Again, with complete strangers, you know? And it went on for a good 2 or 3 hours. Discord seems to be home to a lot of mentally ill, demented people. You know, when it was funny, we were talking about like, oh, if you ban somebody, they just come back with another account. Discord's the ultimate website for that because people will like get rid of someone and then they're like, oh, I'll never be able to go back in that server. And then it's like Gmail accounts activate and then they come back with another. And sometimes they don't even wait. They come like they get banned and like maybe an hour later, here they are again. You should invite us to your server as it's not my server. I don't run that thing. You think if I was my server, I'd let people sit in there and write homophobic and racist stuff? What a gross comment for you to make to try to say that's my server. That's like somebody saying, invite me to the to the bar across the street where they smack people on the behinds without even care if they get a lawsuit or not. It's like, yeah, I might go over there, but it's not no. That's not my bar. That's not my server. I don't run it. And if I did, it wouldn't be the way it is. Invite us to your server. No, I was just giving examples of all the insane stuff that's happened in the last week on there. Because again, I just don't understand why people act the way they do. Oh, and I also found out that apparently, like doing a voice call is like a superpower. I met one person on there who won't do one because they have social anxiety, which I guess for me it's harder to like you can understand if it's a bunch of people, if it's like 4 or 5, but if it's just you and one other person that you claim to like and that you claim to be comfortable around, I don't really get where that's like a really hard, impossible thing for whatever, just people they're strange. Then there was another person who was they started streaming while they were playing a video game and like they're typing stuff in response to me and it's like I had to explain to them it's going to be kind of difficult to communicate if you're playing a game and then having to stop to like write something back, which only happens every like 5 or 10 minutes. So then they finally put their mic on and they were like talking trash about their own voice. It's like, man, come on. They really act like I'm sitting here like grading people's voices. This person has an accent that is reminiscent of the ancient Romans. Like I don't care. All right. I have to leave for now. Going to watch the stream fully when it's up. Thanks for the stream and see you everyone. Take care. All right. Well, have a good rest of your day. Remember, stay off of Discord. My free speech is being suppressed. Yeah. I tell you, that's the most ironic thing in the world to like have somebody write all this different nasty stuff to people. And then when they finally get just a teeny bit of pushback, oh, free speech. I'm being censored. No, I'm never inviting James to my server because all he's gonna do is just like leave and then make another account and ask for another invite. One time I made him a mod and he deleted his channel right after that. He blew up his channel like the Death Star. It's like, oh, you made me a mod? It was explosion. That'd be so funny if like there's a Michael Bay movie that has like James as like the lead protagonist, and when he deletes his channel, there's it just cuts to some explosion somewhere in like Syria or something, just like out of nowhere. Like that's what it's equated to. Like it's this massive blow, you know. Just it's like deleting his channel was analogous to an explosion being detonated. Nah, that what you did wasn't art. That was you. And then you robbed me of all those different tunes and songs you had. You post one and you get rid of it after a week. It ages like milk. It's like what's the point even thumbing it up and leaving a comment? It's just gonna be gone in 2 weeks anyway. We should sue you for taking away all that good music from us. We say it's a crime against humanity to remove such classic songs and not allow them to reach their fullest potential in terms of views by letting them stay on the site permanently. I was so disappointed. I went to his channel and I was like, where are the videos? And we found out he put them in his back pocket and left. There was this one guy who had, I don't remember how many subs it was. I think it was at least 10,000, but he had like, thousands of different videos. And it was mostly like reviews of different stuff, some podcast thing where it's like back in the older days of YouTube, you couldn't put up hours long videos. You had to like put it in parts, like part one, part two, part three, part four, part five. I used to really enjoy those too because like him and his friend would talk like about different ideas they had for movies and stuff like that. And then one day, about 3 or 4 years ago, he just privated all of his stuff. It was really weird. Like just all these videos that had been up for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, all just gone or put unlisted or whatever. It's not unlisted, private. It really sucked because I still found even though he didn't upload anymore, I still thought a lot of that stuff was enjoyable. It just goes to show you that even people you think are like way more successful than you, which he was in terms of like subs and views, even they're like they get sick of this stuff. He had some review of I think it was what was that movie, Wolverine versus Hulk or something, where it had like I I don't want to say it had 2 million views, but it did really really well in terms of views and a whole bunch of downvotes. And I was so confused, like because I watched it and he didn't seem to say anything that I thought was offensive. So I was trying to figure out why does this have so many downvotes, and I went in the comment section and found that it was turned off. So it was like, what? But there was some scandal that happened here you weren't aware of. I just thought that was funny. Like, just you go on this person's channel, and they just randomly have their comments turned off on this video that like one of their most viewed videos. That's like a disproportionate because he wasn't some person who just said like negative stuff just for the sake of saying it. Um, so most of his stuff still had likes on it anyway. Reminds me of Digibro where he had a lot of content, but he deleted his videos. Well, this guy didn't delete; he just privated it like one day out of nowhere. But that's not the only person that's done that. There was this one movie reviewer that did that too. I think he's still on the site, but he does like murderer stuff, which if I was maybe like 5 years younger, I'd be more interested in. But the problem with the serial killer thing is that like so many people discuss them, it kind of gets played out. It's the same reason that a lot of those films they make on them get played out. It's like, yeah, when you make two, three, four different movies on the same person that, like the story of an individual that people thought was normal but actually was a murderer, it gets really redundant. So it's really comedic that that people still cover that stuff and like are interested in. It's like, all right, I get it. This person killed this many people. That all right, thank you. And most of the like really good informative documentaries are like from actual accredited people like A&E. Like I think they were probably the best for a lot of those people. Um, so it just feels like most of the time when these cases get covered on the internet, it's like a half. It's like a pickup team, like a half job. I should say, it reminds me of James X James, that YouTuber who posted music until he decided not to anymore. We're gonna make you the new Digi Bro. We're gonna be like, oh yeah, there was that guy that was posting songs and he was a mod on my channel, but then he deleted his account. I can't believe James anymore. Every time I see him, I just remember what he did. And then he made a Kotsky merchant so upset he's not even writing anything out. He just said his free speech is being suppressed and then walked away. One of the things I don't really like doing is speaking in vague terms. Like I would love very much to just outright say what happened on Thursday, but the issue with doing that is I don't know how. See, that's why a lot of this stuff is reactionary, and you kind of have to play it day by day when someone drags stuff out. I don't know what this person is planning on doing. They're online every day, and I'm giving them a few days to actually, follow this up. But if they don't, I'm just gonna have to, vent about how irritating they are. But that's the reason why I'm speaking about it in a kind of vague way because I don't know how it's going to progress. So again, it will be a few days like this, and then after that they'll get I don't want to say exposed, but discussed. I don't really enjoy speaking about things this way that much myself, but again, the issue is when you're trying to protect people's identities or not have drama, you have to kind of toe the line. You can't reveal too much. Like we were talking about the guy who made a video about why he didn't have like never having had a girlfriend. Then he gets this woman and he makes a video called "You Were Worth the Wait" and how he manifested a relationship. And what was the other one? How like she was showing up in all of his videos, like they were Batman and Robin. And then after he, like all this like fairy tale Disneyland get rejected year after year, but it's okay because Magic Perfect Broad shows up. And then after she broke up with him, he broke up, whatever. He deletes all his stuff with her in it. He makes a video talking about why he's happy he's single. Like just I was over there laughing because if you had seen his channel during that several month period he was with her, you would think he was, on cloud nine. It was like this perfect, amazing thing. But it goes back to show you how people online present this image of themselves, as being like so great and amazing or having some wonderful, terrific life or some of that effect. And that's why you'll have a lot of people who will come in my comment section and talk about how rich they are and how they're drowning in chicks and like they won't no proof usually, but it's just the same thing of how when they come on here they feel as if they have to pretend to be this amazing deity, and then they get upset with me for just telling the truth. Like getting told no over and over year after year by chicks sucks. I'll never have a problem admitting that. It's just sad that when you have someone who tried to peddle it as being, who tried to peddle being with someone as this great, amazing thing, and then he gets, you know, dumped or out of that circumstance. Now he's trying to say that being by himself is so terrific. It's like clown stuff. Like you can't even take what people say seriously anymore because they have the same reaction to the polar opposite situations. I don't really know what else to expect. Imagine if people were like doing anything else. Today I got a new car, and then like a day later, today my car got wrecked. Like, why are you smiling? Well, even though my car got wrecked, like I still believe I can somehow come back. It's like, okay, sure, the car getting wrecked didn't destroy your life, but I wouldn't be happy about it. So much forced positivity. Hmm. I'm gonna have to resurrect my chat and use some black magic. Try to figure out why people stop saying stuff. I mean, whatever. You don't want to type anything. I can just talk to myself. But it is always funny. They're like, oh, we need to interact with him, and then he comes on and interacts, and they don't say anything. I'm not sure what to say. Well, there's plenty of things you could say. You could talk about why you decided to rob the world of your music when you destroyed your account. Um, you can ask. You can tell us what your reaction was to when your account being deleted was covered by major news outlets across the world. I feel bad about not saying anything. Well, you should feel bad, and you should also feel bad for robbing us of that music. Whose beats will I steal now? It'd be so screwed up if I actually did take like one of your songs, like one of the I never downloaded any of them, but just like if I took one of those and used it in like an episode of my show, or just some video, and then YouTube doesn't even notify you that I'm using, like the audio of your video on top of mine. Because that's what they did with when that guy took my stuff and put it on his channel, like they didn't even notify me. I had to go look for it manually. Now, YouTube's its copyright detection system is just the most broken trash ever. Like if you're not a major movie studio or some record label, you can get away with you can expect your stuff to be used. And you don't even know about it. And you have some people who will literally download most of a video or all of it and stick it in their video, and they won't even get in trouble. And sometimes, like if it's fair use, like it's commentary, whatever. But some people literally, you see this for reaction channels, they take a whole video, say nothing through it, and now their video is superimposed. Your video is superimposed in their video. I guess since we're not big enough, YouTube won't care. I thought the same thing too. But when I was filing the copyright claims against the guy for literally stealing my stuff and sticking on another channel, they did listen. Like they did get rid of most of it, or at least they were going to before he took it down. So I'm not going to say that. I just think that they don't really do a good job of notifying you when people are doing that kind of stuff. Like when someone takes it, unless you go out and look for it, you're not going to find it, which I think there's something wrong with. I'm gonna go on Discord and see if anybody's. Oh, the guy that was talking about doing nasty stuff with animals is online right now. Wow, let's get these guys banned. Since we're not big, YouTube's like, yeah, we'll let people do whatever they want to you. No response, no comments. Hell, if you listen to people on Discord or YouTube, they always make themselves sound like they're celebrities. You saw a guy last Monday. I'm making money while I watch you cry. It's like what working man, right? What man who values his time and energy is going to sit around watching a stream of someone they claim to not like, and then like go on there and brag about all these coins that they're supposedly making? Like if you listen to him, he's a millionaire. He's drowning in chicks. He's got his HDD. All the rest of it's like that's why I said it starts to sound like a parody. Like you when you brag about everything, you just make yourself sound so perfect, to like complete strangers who have no way of knowing if it's true or not, but can probably infer that it is. And you sound like a cartoon character. Like to be a human being devoid of any flaws is literally impossible. That's why I hate the fatal flaw discussion that these people like to engage in. Like I've never sat back and stared at another man and said, "Oh, I don't find you pretty enough to be with a woman." Like it's only them that do that. I don't do that to anybody else. I've never sat back while talking to some other man and gone, "I've now detected his fatal flaw that will stop him from ever having a woman show interest in him." Don't do this stuff to anybody else. It's all one-sided character analysis and physical appearance evaluations. It's like, damn, why does everybody have to be a supermodel to get a date? Like, and the thing that really just annoys me about that is we've been over this before, but it's like you don't know what any of them look like because I don't put up their pictures. Um, so you are assuming when you start saying they're probably out of your league or this trash that they're all like so amazingly beautiful that they're and I it's like I don't even take the appearance of chicks seriously anymore because even broads that I don't think look good still have multiple men pining for them. Told you when you just sit here and think about the stuff people say, it really starts to seem just like a complete waste of time to even show any of them interest ever. Because no matter what you do, as long as they don't show interest back, you're going to get blamed and attacked for it. You're going to get crucified and be the romance equivalent of Jesus Christ. I really do want to draw that picture, just me on a cross. That's what it feels like, when you just because again, I don't do this to other people. I am so upset at this stranger for being single. Oh. The guys on this site just I don't know. I think I'd still prefer them over the Discord ones because at least with the ones on here, they only can actually directly say something to you if you're doing a stream. But yeah, I'd say they're not as bad, but they're still not good either. Like very few that disagree actually want to have a civil conversation. They just want to analyze the way somebody looks and talk about more relevant stuff, which I do think is really sad. I'm still trying to understand how a person can be mad at someone for being single. Like imagine like imagine being a supposedly straight man who is upset at another man for not wanting to talk to women anymore. Just keep thinking about that. Like, how does that work? You're a straight man who is upset at another man for not wanting to talk to women anymore. Not women upset that a man won't talk to him. Men who are upset at another man for not talking to women anymore. That's the ultimate irony. And we already proved that like they'll blame you for anything, when it comes to this stuff. Because we were showing the example of how like you have a lot of people that when they get upset, just at someone for saying I'm good, they'll go, "Oh, you probably did this, you probably did that," and that's just they want to like figure in their head that you must have committed some great sin because they don't want to accept the idea that you can just be a normal, productive member of society who chicks don't like. And then it's like you're not the only person to do that too because there's whole groups online with people with the same issue. I thought that was funny. Or that one guy who was mad at you getting money from a supporter. Yeah, that was pretty insane. Like I told you, I've seen streams where there's like 1,000 people on there and you have people donating and no one ever gets mad that someone is donating to another person. I mean, the way he acted like if someone was forcing him to donate. That's that like people on here are mentally ill. They'll pick a fight over anything, stuff that has nothing to do with them. It's really weird. And I got rid of that person because it's like, it's one thing to just be like, why are you donating? Which already is like weird. Like, that people donate to people they support. But you're like, that's his money going down the drain. So yeah, I was good. Because if you're gonna say that one of my supporters voluntarily assisting me in a financial way is money going down the drain, then you don't need to be here anymore. Because that infers you don't like the content that's being made. If it's supposedly being spent on something that's going down the drain. So, but he was weird anyway. Like we had the one stream where it was two chicks. We know it was actually one chick and another and a guy in disguise being a transformer. As in he took his accounts, changed the name, and then put whatever. So two chicks go on this stream supposedly. He's like, "Where are all these women coming from?" I was like, Uh, I mean, they're just people on YouTube. They have the right to comment on whatever they want, like how you have the right to comment on whatever you want. What am I supposed to have a gender test? Am I supposed to put like a little "No Girls Allowed" sign? It's just that there was something wrong with that guy, and he already showed he was like the ultimate creep. Take the pill and stop dating. Like if you get so obsessed where you make that your name, that's what's weird to me. Hey, he's so obsessed with other men that he's like, I'm gonna make my name the thing of never talking to chicks anymore. Because even if I do a video, you're not gonna see me change my name to that because I discuss other things, and it's not just the chick stuff is part of what I discuss. It's not the only thing I talk about or I'm into. So like his entire personality, our online persona is centered around how insane some of the stuff women do is, to where he even has to make that his username. Yeah, for some reason, I'm getting kind of, I don't know what the deal is. Some of these guys on here talking about dating are just plain weird, are plain out weird. Okay, yeah, there's something wrong with them. I lean back because I am getting a little tired for some reason. Um, but we've already talked about like the mental illness. Because let me explain something. A normal man, right, who just like let's say once a date, at the most is only going to care about the love life of another man if that man is also trying to get the affections of the same woman he's into, right? Um, it is not normal for men who are supposedly straight to be so offended that another man doesn't want to talk to chicks anymore as to write nasty comments to that person, as to assess their personality without having ever met them. It's really creepy, and like I said, it's funny to watch them sit here and try to because they do a lot of the projection. Oh, you're the loser, even though I'm the one who's on your channel obsessing over you and making you out to be the star by writing all these comments to try and get your attention. Oh, there's something wrong with you, even though I'm the one harassing you. Just they take the things that they actually are and try to extend it. Push to other people. Do you remember that guy who came on here talking about? Oh yeah, you still make videos? Wow, I thought you were dead. Hey, another Galactus. The world revolves around him. If he doesn't watch you, you don't. There's no way you could still be making content. And sure enough, for someone that claimed to like my stuff, guess how many times we've seen him since he wrote that weird comment? I couldn't even count on one hand. Zero. I guess I could do this, huh? So there's something that's so wrong with these guys. Like I don't know what possesses them to act this way. And the thing with him, right, is that he tried to play victim. Oh, you don't have to be a prick, all that shit. But you wrote a weird comment that you weren't forced to write because I didn't recognize him. Nobody in my chat recognized him. He could have come on here and acted like he had never seen my stuff before, and we wouldn't have batted an eye. And sure enough, when I later looked up his name on Gmail, which has an archive like all the messages I had from like up to 2 years ago, didn't see him in there either. So it's like he did that to himself. He came on a channel, asserted this idea that because he doesn't watch someone automatically, they can no longer be making content, and then he got roasted for it. Like he picked that fight. I'm going to TYT's channel. Wow, you guys still make videos? Whoa. I can't believe it. That's like totally not possible because I'm not watching you. I went on his channel and he also made videos about not being able to get a woman. He had fake tattoos on his face. And that'll be funny if like you after going on his channel, you leave a comment and then you come back a week later. You still have videos? Wow. He drew on his face with a Sharpie. Hey, I mean, are you surprised? Are you really like shocked by that? Does that make you go, oh, who would have thought? Who could have thought this would happen? Tell you, there's something wrong with guys on here. If you read the stuff they write, that kind of thing doesn't really seem that strange. He tried to look like Kodak Black. At first second, I thought you were gonna say like Goku Black. Have some spiky hair and a little gray tunic, some black pants, white boots. Foolish mortals. I'm really not surprised, man. It's just people on here are creepy. Um, and like James, you gotta understand. A lot of there are, and I don't try to say this about men in general, but there are a lot of guys who are like dumb on here. Like there was the one guy where I put a video where I'm showing like it's like this audio track with different clips of my videos like on top of it, so you can have something to look at. And he's like, "Is this an old video?" And in the video, I mentioned Kobe, like passing away with his daughter, which happened about 2 weeks before I made the video, about a week or so. So it's like, how could this be an old video if I'm mentioning something that happened not even 15 days ago? So you see how it's just like a lot of them are they don't do research. They're just not, I don't think, bright at all. They ask a lot of dumb things. I mean, you saw that one clown that came on my stream on what was that last Monday during the diminishing returns one where like I roasted the fact that he wrote some comment about, man, how tall are you, on a video that had nothing to do with my height. By the way, I already explained why I don't answer that question because if you answer it one time, you gotta answer it forever. You'll get asked the same question 200 because people don't do research. They just ask the same thing over and over. No care or concern if it annoys you to be asked for these repetitive questions, and then just keep it going. I might not be smart, but I agree. Some guys on here who come onto your stream or videos are dumb. It's not even just about being smart. It's like sometimes we have a thought, right? And we have to maybe think about it before we ask it. It's like you see a video that's just been uploaded, and then you see that it's like playing different clips in the background with my voice over it. You see that it mentions an event that happened not even 2 weeks ago. So what indication is there that it's old? Because it uses old footage. It's not, it's not like this is a video where my lips are in sync with what I'm saying. It's just stuff that's being played over. Is this an old video? Because even though you just posted it, I'm wondering. So these guys are just, and you saw that Gertz person, right? You can get a relationship if you treat getting one with the utmost focus, but also work on yourself and focus on lifting weights and making money, and then a woman will come up. So you see how like he can't even decide which stupid overdone trope he's going to use, the focus on yourself one or the go after chicks like there's no tomorrow, like that. You see, just and that guy left weird comments for months. Like it was, I went and screenshotted my comment section. There's a thing, a tab where you can type in somebody's name, you get all their comments. He was writing weird stuff like that for a third of a year, just weird comment after weird comment. What do you do to make money? Why is it this other man's business? He acts like I'm like he's my suitor, Like so I said it's so weird. It's not even just that, it's like also like the weird the like strange nebulous stuff he was saying, get the monkey off your back, have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he would never explain it. He just talks in riddles. Like a Batman villain. I wish he would just change his avatar to being green already. That's why I got rid of him. I just got sick of reading that stuff. Like reading confusing comments that people don't elaborate on is not fun. It's just again, it's just weird. Every time you do a romance video, this guy writes some comment that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Like I do this video about women's many options, right? Which is discussing how a lot of chicks have a bunch of guys trying to talk to them, and how like when people tell you to do all this self-improvement stuff, they like to exclude external factors that are out of your control. Like if you're competing with 5, 10, 15 other men for the same woman. And this guy writes in the comment section, "Oh, you got treated with the utmost." It's like, what does that have to do with anything we're talking about? Like I used, and stuff like that really pisses me off because I used to log on to Reddit every day and go and look at different like chicks that were saying, "Oh, this is my age, this is what I want," and then you would send a message, and then you might get maybe one or two replies, and they ignore you. It's like, what more do you want from me? Like you're supposed to talk to these broads every day online. You're supposed to go to all these different locations, and it's like, who has the time to do that, and who would make such an extraneous effort for very little? How did you get your first girlfriend, James? Well, I just traveled across the land, searching far and wide. I went to this city and this other state, and also every day I logged on to Reddit and sent 200 chicks a message. And I mean, like that's ridiculous. But people think this stuff makes sense. Like they think if you're a man, you're supposed to be this slave of chicks that does whatever they want and goes through these extraneous steps for someone that isn't even worth doing one fifth of this stuff for. That really should disturb you. Just like the fact that people think so little of you, by virtue of your gender, that they expect you to realistically do the unrealistic. They expect you to be a millionaire or some very wealthy person for a date. They expect you to have muscles, which we can prove most people don't have for a date. I mean, it's like who when you look at this stuff and you see what they're asking for, when you see how little attention you get from chicks, even if you do that stuff, it starts to turn into the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Remember, they'll also say go to a different country yeah, and it's like play that fantasy out in your head. You go to let's just say Japan, for example, right? You meet some woman over there. Is she gonna now travel back to the US with you and give up her entire life for someone she just met a few days ago? Like who I ask again, who has the time, the money, and even like the logic to go out to another country for some extended period of time just to meet a woman who maybe might go on a date, but you can reasonably infer is not going to travel back with you to the US. It's like what I just don't see how these solutions are realistic. And again, it's like that's why these people sit here and talk about the way I look and speak and all like they because they can't explain or enunciate where it makes sense to do all this stuff for something that is so minuscule. If you have to talk to 100 women to get a date, something is wrong with those bastards. If a woman had talked to 100 men to get a date, something would be wrong with us too. Let's learn another language and get a passport just to get a relationship. Yeah. I mean, like, okay, all this stuff, right? Get a passport, learn another language, become a millionaire, have muscles, have become famous. I mean, like, if you just sit there and like hear the stuff that they tell you to do, this advice that all these people are throwing out, it really sounds like you might as well just go and become Superman. Like, just put on a red cape and just fly around. Because no human being can do this stuff. If someone might be able to do some of it, some might be able to do a few of it, but not all. No one. That's why most of the people who actually have money are old. They don't have muscles. They don't just snap their fingers and $1 million appears. They actually saved up over some consecutive decades. That's why I hate this like get rich quick scheme that these people try to play on here. And it's like you're doing that, not so you can take care of your mother or your dad or some other person that means something to you that knows. Oh, random woman might like me. Yeah, she'll like you for those coins, not for who you are. But I guess that's what people prefer now, huh? Can't wait to date a gold digger. What a terrific thing that'll be for me. Again, they don't care. They say these things without any concern for how realistic it is, who can actually do it. And then when they get pushed back, they try to, they just double down on their nonsense. But I tell you, the main reason I don't like this stuff is because you never see it the other way around. You're never going to see somebody tell a woman she needs to get a passport and learn another language to get a date. You're not going to see one be told she needs to go to the gym to get a date. You're not like none of this stuff. And it's like, okay, you can't have one side that has to do everything to appeal to the other, and then even while they're doing that, still have a chance of not meeting someone or having to like keep talking to multiple chicks and expect them to look at that stuff and go, yeah, this is worth it. And look, it's funny to laugh at it, but it's also really disturbing because, like I said, people on here, like on the internet at the very least, and some in real life as well, they think you're supposed to be a woman's slave. I will do anything for the triangle, anything whatsoever. And then they give you this set of demands and requirements. It's like, who can do this? I mean, you might as well go pick some cotton at this rate. So every time you go online, you have somebody giving advice that just it's just more fairy tale crap. When you get muscles, women will be all over you. No, not the cotton. I mean, hey, if they'll tell you that you have to become a bodybuilder or have muscles or whatever amount of coins, you really don't think they'll try to say, go out in the field and get some cotton? That's actually much easier to do than most of the stuff they're saying on here. But again, that's because most of the stuff they're saying on here requires an excessive amount of work for a very little reward. You will do this so that magic woman will like you. And then when you say I'm good, I'm not interested. Oh, this is why you will be single forever. So, okay, what does that what bearing does it have on you? 'Cause they get really offended when you don't take their goofy advice. And remember what we said before, none of them ever show they have proof that they're with a woman themselves. Because we all know that when when James gets some woman, he's gonna be on videos of men that don't have one. That totally adds up and makes sense. That's a very logical thing for him to do. He's gonna become a romance prophet and spread the good word about the chicks. I told you that with relationships now, it's no compromise. Nobody actually likes the person for who they are. It's just whatever you can extract out of this individual and whatever like and again, a lot of chicks do that. They want attention, they want your money, they suck. And it's like, it's not even me making this stuff up. You have men who tell you to become rich or wealthy or get more money like for a date. And you don't see men having these requirements for chicks. You don't see anyone saying you have to have, six figures, whatever, to go on a date. You don't see it. Like it's just really nuts to me. They act like they're these. I tell you, people act like there's only five or six chicks in the whole world, and that's why you have to do all this extraneous stuff to appeal to one of them. But like, you're doing this stuff to appeal to chicks that are so plentiful that there's a whole bunch nobody ever heard of. That there's a whole bunch who the only reason they get more than two people to talk to them is because men get nobody to talk to them. And it's like, who wants to be part of a system where you're speaking to someone who has another 10, 15 options. And even if she doesn't confirm it, as far as that's how it is. Like they don't always tell you if they're talking to somebody else. A lot of times they don't for that reason because they know that it's not appealing to sit there and compete for one person with another few people. Like I said, this chick stuff is not appealing at all. If you want to have your rocks off or like get some kind of gratification from one of them, that's why I brought up the hookers. I said, I'm not someone who doesn't think people should have relationships with someone they actually care about and want to spend time with, but I don't see that here. When you go off of the advice that people give, and the fact that there are so many men that are like having this issue, I don't really see where anyone would look at that and go, "Oh yeah, let's just keep talking to regular chicks. It worked so well the first 100 times." Just that was the whole reason for bringing the hookers up. It's like if you want some kind of specific need met, if you pay them a price, they'll do it. If you want to get screwed, you can do that. You pay them a price, that's it. If you want to, I mentioned going on a date. It's like a lot of them will pretty much do whatever as long as they're paid for it. And I would rather have that than this like stupid game of having to keep restarting over and over because I don't like you that way. Just it gets really it's repetitive. People like to say, "Oh, my content's," but it's like, no, the chicks are repetitive. They do the same thing over and over. Like, if you want the content to stop being repetitive, stop giving them the same repetitive experiences. I don't even know what James is saying LOL to. But I think it's really sad that relationships are this way and that you have insane people who actually are like, "Oh yeah, they've always been like this." Because a couple of decades ago, there were totally men online sitting in whole groups about not being able to get with someone. Yeah, good old revisionist history. I think it's really pathetic. I think that people just aren't sympathetic toward me. I think if it was the opposite, where it's like a bunch of chicks having to approach one man because there's like all the men are just, like swarmed by broads, then you would see people actually like care because the perfect gender would be the one that is in danger of not getting a partner. But as long as you're a man, nobody cares about you. I just think it's really sad. But yeah, that's just the way people are. They don't unless they're affected by something, they don't really seem to have empathy for it. And you do have a lot of like people who aren't even that old, like 40, 30, that never experienced this because they didn't have the like social media factor and men harassing them if they weren't up to talking to chicks for however long. Just they didn't have this stuff. Yeah, this guy asked me if I ever like thought about the broad stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's just you reflect on it, you go, man, that would have been really nice if this ended, but it didn't. It kept going and going. Because as much as people like to say chicks are different and all the same, they sure like to do a lot of the same repetitive stuff. What sets you apart from an I word? No disrespect. I'm not part of an online subculture. I don't talk about pills or chat or any of the other terms they use. And hell, the problem with that word is its definition changes every 5 seconds. I got a documentary I watched not even 2 weeks ago where a guy said that I words are men 21 or older who haven't had a sexual experience in 6 months. I go online, I can't find that definition anywhere else. He just makes that up and like gets to appear on there as some serious analyst. So like that word is just a stupid term people use to describe any man that criticizes chicks ever. That's all it is. That's why I call it the new N word. Like the N word is a racial slur that's used mostly against black people just for being black and saying something that somebody doesn't like or just to attack them. The I word is literally you have an issue with getting a woman, and regardless of what your specific needs are, I'm going to lump you in a box with a whole bunch of other people for the sake of simplifying your point of view. I wonder who made it up in the first. It was some woman on the internet like 20 years ago. Again, it's just a stupid played out word. I don't really like sit there and take it that seriously anymore. Like, yeah, it's really annoying that they have to like throw it out there over and over. But when you see the stuff that they like the stuff I was called on here even before that, I'm not really surprised. It's crazy too because I remember before that like that shooting in Isla Vista, you had and I even had some experiences like this, but I wasn't that old. I was in the 10th grade when that happened. You had guys that would go online and talk about how like nuts chicks were and just how tired of getting turned down over and over they were, but you didn't see anyone calling them that. I mean, you say that, but then you put it in your username. So sorry, I'm late. I agree with your opinion on the I word terminology. Well, yeah, because that this is just what they do. They want to devalue The experiences of men. See, with chicks, right? They go and say that they had some bad experience. People hear them out. They listen to them. They respond specifically to that person. They don't want to hear specific and oftentimes very legitimate grievances that people have with chicks. That's why they have to say, "Oh, you just want sex," because they don't want to accept this idea that, "Oh my God, this person just wanted to meet someone that they liked as a human being," and then gradually they would date the person, marry them, all the rest of that stuff that's been done 1,000 times over. See, because when you start getting into that, then it makes the chicks look like trash for having this person with like genuine good intentions just like cast aside like a piece of garbage. He's like, I agree this term is bad. That's why it's my username. Sorry, I'm late. Like this is a class, and we're gonna give Jedi a demerit because he didn't come on time. They mistake authentic relationship reasoning for perverted ones. Yeah, because it's part of, and see, that's why I never liked that term. I don't use it in any of my. I don't like link it anywhere. They always come to my stuff because they want to like have this symbiotic relationship where everyone who criticizes chicks can get lumped under this umbrella. And it's like what I wanted is different from like, for example, my best friend. He just wanted to date somebody that he liked and would maybe get married to, whatever. He didn't want kids. That was something I wanted. So you can't say that these people who have like varying ideas of what they ultimately want out of being with abroad are all the same because they get a result that they have no control over. You can't make someone like you. I could have a woman come in my chat right now and say, let's go on a date, and I say no. She had no control over that. But see, you wouldn't see anyone then tell her, oh, she needs to go to the gym and become a millionaire and then try to make a play at the great Justin again. No, because again, they're allowed to not be appealing to every single person and have like specific things that someone might not find interesting. But if you're a man, you have to be a stormtrooper. You have to be over 6 feet and be a millionaire and be famous and have a billion subscribers. All this stuff that most people don't have because they're trying to get you to fulfill their unrealistic fantasy. And then if you complain about ridiculous things from chicks, you get lumped in the box. I mean, it's like this, right? You would never see a woman with long hair tell one with short hair that she needs to have long hair as well, because they're allowed to be individuals. When you're a man, you have to fit this like specific, tight, narrow box of what people want. Have I ever met a subscriber in person? Yeah, my brother. He subscribed to me. I've met him in person a lot of times. Any problem men have gets either minimized or outright ridiculed. Yeah, when I was in the Discord server, I mentioned the chick stuff, and they were like making fun of me behind my back. But it didn't change my opinion because again, they don't even address your points; they just insult you. I see your point, but I just like the username. I had this account before they started the BS. Man, I remember like the early rejections, like when I was in seventh grade, like 2011, and like eighth, ninth, because back then I would only like approach one chick in my class per year, and that would be it. Because I used to like believe in the idea you would just eventually have someone show interest in you, and like no, we would talk about like they said this, they did that, but with even with like those younger chicks, they were more direct. Like they would just say, I'm not interested. It's like why is it with the older ones supposed to be so much more mature? They sit here like gassing you up with no payoff. But I remember that like when people would complain about them, nobody like I didn't even know what the I word was until like 2017. Like people did not call other people that when they talked about chicks before that year. Because people have been sick of chicks for a long time. A woman started a group of them because she couldn't get a date in college. It's very polarizing. Either you're getting all the women or you are an I word, no in between. I just think it's a term they use to call people that criticize a woman ever. Like I've seen people get called that for talking trash about female politicians. Ironically enough, some of the ones that get called that, like how do you explain? It's like it's ironic because the same ones that people will get called an I word for insulting, I'll defend and then get called one anyway for just like other stuff. So you see how it doesn't matter. It's just a term they throw out whenever a woman is criticized or critiqued in any way. Dude, it like that one guy with the channel that has like tens of thousands of subs. I so thought he was hilarious. Like I've never seen someone just backpedal so quickly. Oh yes, this woman I'm with was worth the wait, and she's so great. That's why she's gonna be in all my videos. And after they break up, being single actually isn't half bad. It's like, nobody ever wants to admit that chick stuff sucks. The idea that you have to wait multiple years for one person to show interest in you back in a world with billions of people is insane. Because remember, that one person that agrees to go on a date they don't have to sleep with you, they don't have to kiss you, they don't even have to hold your hand or touch you. So it's like all this like this extraneous waiting process, right? For something so minimal. All this little different advice that these guys give out for something very small. Like very slim pickings, after all this effort. And then people are surprised when you say, "Yeah, this doesn't look like the juice is worth the squeeze. I'm out." So yeah, I'm not a fan of the I word. I think it's just a stupid term that I'm gonna have to hear about forever because that's the new way that we insult people that criticize chicks, no matter how legitimate their critiques are. It's real funny too because they have this thing where they call it like I word rage, where like it's a guy yelling and screaming and cursing about some woman, and then it's like I could sit here, write out a script, not say a single swear word, and just question the motive behind like these contradictory acts that some chicks do, and you still get called that anyway. Like no matter what your tone of voice is, as long as you criticize a woman, you're one of those. Late again here for Monday Madness number 3. You're here for Monday Madness number 3, but you showed up late on me. How dare you? Let me get my Infinity Gauntlet out. We're gonna make a euro dollar disappear. You have to hurry up, wait, and be like the Panther all at the same time. I tell you, those guys don't know what they want. Like the same person who said in the what video was that? I don't even remember what the video was. It's one of the edited ones. Was like, oh yeah, wait, treat getting a woman with the utmost focus, approach as much as you can, and then it's like, oh, you should aim to make the most money and lift weights and focus on yourself. It's like, so you're focusing on yourself while also focusing on getting that. And the stuff that you're doing to focus on yourself is literally only being done to get with a woman. I mean, I don't have to announce I'm going my own way. I just don't talk to them anymore. I don't need to put out some public statement or, give a speech and announcing my departure from talking to chicks. That's it. I don't really see a need to be affiliated with a team over this. That's the thing. Like you can talk about the news without being part of CBS or Fox. So why do you have to be part of the I word crew or the M crew if you're what do you call it? Like just critiquing women, like and that's why I said this stuff is like really like shows the disdain for straight men because there are plenty of chicks online that talk trash about men and how they're like they've done nasty all this stuff that no one ever questions the legitimacy of, right? But you'll never see somebody tell them this woman, oh, she's part of the men hating team of female celibates. Like no, none of that. They're allowed to be individuals that are upset with the gender that they were romantically interested in without the ridicule. The whole concept of relations, especially in the modern era, feels very artificial. I can't tell you how many of my peers are getting married with a short amount of time of them dating. It's crazy. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like anyone actually likes anybody anymore. Just what can I get out of you? How many hoops do I have to jump through to appeal to you so I can be part of your harem? of men that you don't even like back, but you'll talk to anyway because you're bored. Just and like I said, when you look at this stuff and go, yeah, this isn't appealing. There's something wrong with you. How could you not find interest in this woman? It's sad. I will be right back. I'm gonna put something in the microwave. Give me, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. Yeah, I went in there to get something to eat. Actually skipped what I was planning on eating. I usually eat right before the stream, but I just turned on the camera. Just started this. Yeah, relationships are just kind of a really like they sound good on paper, getting with someone that you like, but from what we've seen of advice that people give and just the stuff you have to do to get one, it makes it and also the backlash you get from not having one, it makes it entirely unappealing. Like imagine a scenario where you have to keep speaking to a number of people that you start to forget the number. Like it's so many of them, right? And then you're also going to more often than not get the result you want. And then after you don't get the result you want, you get attacked by other people and accused of different things for not getting that result that plenty of other people are not getting, which is why there's whole groups about this topic. Oh my god. Hold on again, somebody's calling me. Hey, sorry, I just got done with this phone call. That was insane. Like, man, if I ever do a like documentary on myself, you're gonna see a lot of crazy characters show up in that. Jesus Christ. Some of the things people say to their own flesh and blood is quite cruel. But yeah, getting back to this I word stuff, it's so sad because it's like I look at it like this. I was a person who, at least from the time of like being an adult, like 18, 19, wanted to go on a date with someone. If you like that person, you would marry them, that have family, stuff like that. And then it just gets like misconstrued into, oh, you're just trying to have sex. And it's the dumbest thing in the world because I've been very public about the fact I live in California and that I can drive to Las Vegas, Nevada anytime I want. It's like it doesn't make any sense for me to speak to chicks. Sometimes they live in other countries, right? That it would spend that it would cost way more to go and see for the purpose of getting banged if I can do that for a cheaper price and for much less time as far as like talking to the broad, whatever, in the span of a weekend. It's like but that's why I said that they have to tell themselves this stuff because they don't want to believe you can be someone that just wanted a partner that you actually liked as a person, because that destroys their narrative. See, they want to believe in the idea that every man that has like a girlfriend or a wife is like so great and amazing as a person or like a genuine like a simple morality, even though that's BS because there are murderers and killers that had girlfriends and all. It's stupid stuff that we've proven to be BS before, but they want to believe that you like being with a woman somehow determines your quality as a person or if you're good or not. And it's really stupid. And like I said, if they said this type of stuff to chicks, they'd be called we would be called misogynists in a heartbeat. So many men have been canceled for saying they find disgusting a woman can look like the edge of hell, and but if you say you don't find her attractive, you get attacked, ridiculed. Well, like I say multiple times, there are plenty of chicks I don't think are pretty. Like, but I don't even talk about the way chicks look on here more often than not. Like, you've never seen me do a romance video. Here's a picture of this woman, man. She looks so bad. It's only the only time anyone's appearance on here gets discussed is if other men come to my stuff attacking me over how I look because they want to believe that you have to be a supermodel to get a date. And they always hide their face, by the way. That's another little trait they have in common with each other. Let me see who's on Discord. Who's going to entertain me after this stream is over? Oh, not that many people. I see that same person that's looking to get a video made on her is online though. That's real nice. Yeah, relationships sound like a good idea on paper, but after hearing and seeing some of the stuff people write, I'm good. It's all out of order, man. There are high quality men who have a hard time getting into relationships, while there are low life thugs and gangbangers who spend very little effort getting with women. That's why it's always funny when they're like, "You need money to get with a woman." That's why there are these children that are born in these impoverished neighborhoods. It's like you really expect me to believe some like millionaire drives down to what? Just think of any ghetto place you can imagine, right? It's like, yeah, he drives over there and sees some random broad and is like, "Yeah, come back with me to my mansion," and then like, you get how stupid that. But that's why I said, don't believe these clowns on the computer when they start telling you about you need this, you need that, because there's always someone who doesn't have it that still has a partner. That says more bad about these women than us, man. Hey, I don't go around like saying, well, this woman is not tall enough for me and she doesn't have $1 million and she doesn't have a six pack. I'm nowhere near as nitpicky as these people on here. Sorry. That's why I had the motto, you preach acceptance while being met with intolerance. Like you're supposed to accept all the chicks for the most part. You still have stuff you're just like not into, but you accept the way the chicks look over and over, all the little different things they like to do that you don't do, and then you get nitpicked to death. I don't like that you did this one thing, so goodbye. I tell you, I don't know any man that like any straight man that's under 40 that looks at like the way stuff with chicks is in the modern era and is like, oh, this is so exciting. I can't wait. No, I'll leave them alone. And again, like the way that what I'm saying is true about how like you not talking to chicks doesn't matter is because you don't see women like coming in my comment section angry that I don't speak to them. They have plenty of other men that are like, circling around them like sharks. That's the ultimate validation. Now you gotta do so much for just the tiniest bit of like attention from a woman. It's really nuts. I don't know any chicks personally that I've never met a chick online or seen one in real life that had so many men say they don't want to be with her that she felt as if she had to travel to another country to get one to maybe go on a date with her. I don't know any chicks that after one of them got rejected, they started trying to go to the gym and change their physique so that one man might maybe go on a date with them. I don't know any chicks that felt as if they had to become wealthy or rich to get a man to like them back. Like it's always men that just have to do all this like excessive stuff for again for nothing. But anyways, like, I've been on here long enough. Let me get off here. That word needs to be deleted from everyone's mouths. It has no value. It's just a term that people throw around like candy for anybody that has problems with a chick, which is damn near every guy that is under the age of 40 that lives in the modern era. That's why they have whole chat groups about this. Dude, getting abroad, like it would be easier to go in a thunderstorm and dodge rain than get a date with with most guys at this point. Just that's why it's so funny when they actually try to make you feel bad about not like everybody is having this issue. That's why every time we have the likes and dislikes like shown, it's always way more likes than downvotes on stuff that talks about chicks because like everybody knows there's something wrong with them. Even other chicks know there's something wrong with chicks. That's hilarious. So thanks for watching. I'll do another stream, probably definitely on Saturday, maybe on Wednesday. So see you.